lost that fin while it was still traveling behind us. So look along the starboard or right-hand side of the boat. On that 3 o'clock direction. Nice dive from that humpback whale. Now with that dive from the whale, you know that it's going to be down onto a dive. It's going to be safe for us to start to slowly make our way out of this area.
It's so fun to watch the whales and to see how large they are and how they dive and the beauty and grace of their movement. It's been really great. So now we're heading back.
Oh yeah, say that.
So now we have to head back. The Whale Watch has 2 times that they go out. So we have to be back for the second time that they go out. So it's been a great fun. Wish we could have stayed out longer. But next time.
What a great trip out there. We came across 3 different humpback whales. And at the end, we actually got lucky enough to see a fin whale as well. So we saw 2 species of whale. So the humpback whale, typically about 40 to 50 feet long. And the fin whale, which is normally about 75 feet long. So it was pretty awesome out there. Got some great looks at those humpback whales as well, especially when that pair of whales came right up on that port or left-hand side of the boat, wicked close to us.
To start off, we saw humpback whales. And the way you can identify the humpback whale is that it has the white fluke, and then you can identify them by the whiteness of their fluke, the markings on the fluke. And their pectorials.
Their pectoral fins are very large, much larger than any other whale out there.
And how big can the humpback get?
About anywhere from 40 to 50 feet long, and the females are typically larger. Yes.
Wow, and they're still so graceful when they swim. It's like beautiful. Okay, and humpback whales also migrate. So where do they migrate from, to, and when?
In the summertime, they are up here in the New England waters. Typically, they're either here in Stellwagen Bay, go up off the coast of New Hampshire, Maine. They can go as far up as Iceland as well, but they typically stay right here in like the North America region, anywhere from Canada down to Cape Cod. And in the wintertime, about November, so they'll start to migrate down into the Caribbean. They can go anywhere in the Caribbean, but their main area is right off the coast of the Dominican Republic in an area known as the Silver Banks.
And that's where they breed?
That's where they breed, and that's where they'll have all their calves as well. It's important that they have their calves down there, because when the calves are first born, they don't have any blubber, and blubber is what keeps them nice and warm. So if they were born up here in the wintertime, unfortunately they'd die of hypothermia, because the water gets to about 35 degrees Fahrenheit, where in the Caribbean it's much warmer, about 75 degrees.
The humpback, the feed on you, like the plankton and small fish. So what they do is they open their mouth, okay, so then they get in a large amount of water. Now, what they don't have teeth, what do they have?
They have baleen. They actually have a piece in here.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So what they use is this. So this is a piece of baleen that hangs down from their upper jaw. This part is exposed to us, so that's what we see. On the inside is facing their tongue. This is an older piece, so a lot of these little hair filaments have fallen off or worn away. But imagine this whole edge all hanging straight down, all these little hairs or bristles straight down. There's about 400 pieces all right next to each other. So what they'll do is they take a large mouthful, move their lower jaw upwards, so just showing the baleen. They use their tongue, push out all the salt water, goes between the sides of the baleen, and all the fish or the small krill that they might be eating as well get stuck to the back side. And they take their tongue, they scrape everything up and swallow everything whole.
And how many different species of whales have you seen in Stellwagen?
With whales, they're the Odontices and the Mystices. The Odontices are all the toothed whales, so those are all the different types of dolphins up here. So they could be Atlantic white-side dolphins. We've seen Riso dolphins here. We've seen pilot whales. With baleen whales and the Mystices, we see a lot of minke whales, fin whales, and humpback whales. Those are our 3 main common whales. But we can also see sei whales. Blue whales have come down here before as well. We've had a beluga whale that has been down here as well.
When?
That was several years ago, about like 8 years ago or so.
Because they're really far up north.
Yeah, they're normally up in the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah, that's why I was like surprised you said a beluga. And what about the right whales?
right whales we see in the early springtime.
Oh, okay.
You'll see them right off the coast of Cape Cod. Sometimes they'll travel up to like the southwest corner, right around here, the southern edge of the bank.
Okay.
Like right here.
Yep, the
Okay.
southern edge of the bank.
Nice.
And right now they're all up in Lubec, Maine, right on the Maine and Canadian border, and that's where they spend the majority of their summertime. And then towards the end of the summer, they'll go back down to the Georgia-Florida border, and that's where they'll have their mating and calving grounds in the wintertime. So they'll come back through this area probably like October or so, but they normally stay a little bit further offshore, just like glimpsing the outside of the Cape, and then they'll keep hugging the coastline all the way back down.
So I've heard that the population of the right whales have increased.
It has increased. It's slowly increasing. I don't know what the exact numbers are. The aquarium is actually ahead of all the right whale research in the world for the North Atlantic right whales.
Okay.
So they have been crunching the numbers from this past winter to see how many calves were actually born and how many mortalities had existed as well between the years before get an exact, like, accurate number.
Now tell me about the population of the humpback whales, because they are on the endangered.
They are on the endangered list. There's several thousand of them left in all the world's waters. So the exact number is not 100%, but they know that there's several thousand. So it's probably between
We know humpback whales are found along the Atlantic coast, from the Caribbean all the way up. So would you find humpback whales anywhere else?
Yes, the Pacific Ocean. There's a huge population in the Pacific Ocean. A lot of people know of Hawaii. They'll go to Hawaii on vacations, go right down to the beaches. In Hawaii, that's where they have their mating and calving grounds. So they can go right onto the beaches and see the whales breaching or flipper slapping or just breathing, giving off that blow or the spout. So they can see them from the shore. And then in the wintertime, in the summertime, they'll migrate up to Alaska for their feeding grounds.
Okay.
So anywhere from Hawaii, California, all the way up to Alaska.
That's
They are seen.
quite a migration. And that's the thing I like to emphasize, is that we take a look at our own backyard and say, okay, I want to be concerned about my own backyard, but it has to be global thinking, because animals do migrate. So you have to be very concerned not only about your own backyard, but about the environment of the world. So concluding with that, tell me, what's your environmental tip of the day?
Environmental tip of the day is, if you are coming out to see the whales on a private boat, just be aware of the guidelines, make sure that you abide by them, slow down once you do get within a certain distance of the whales, just stop the boat, kind of float there. And also really important is no fishing when you see the whales, because there have been instances where people have been casting and their lure does get stuck in their blowhole. So
In the
don't want that.
I mean, we're not the after that one.
It's rare, but it happened last summer.
I would never think of it like, oh my word, I've heard of people catching things, but never a whale.
So you don't want to do that.
And then another thing too is to always like keep your trash with you and dispose of it properly.
Yes.
And to be concerned about the wind, because you may think, okay, I'm gonna put it on the bench for now and then put it in the bag, and then the wind just goes and blows it. So to be very concerned about your trash, make sure that it's disposed of properly, and that way we keep things clean and our environment healthy.
5 feet long, so it was pretty awesome out there. Got some great looks at those humpback whales as well, especially when that pair of whales came right up on that port on the left-hand side of the boat, wicked close to us.
Such a wonderful animal adventure today. We got to see 3 humpbacks and a finback. They're so graceful swimming, but yet the size of them, and to see them go down and swim, it was a fun thing to see. So if you're interested, you can go on a New England Aquarium Whale Watch. and have your own animal adventures.